Hello learners, I am Rashmi Narula and today we are going to discuss about the importance of team building as an employee in a group or wherever. Just the team building is really important when you are working with a group of people. Objectives of this session are to learn about the importance of team and teamwork, the key benefits of teamwork, types of different teams that we have, then the role of a team leader, SWOT analysis, and the advantages of conducting personal SWOT. Importance of a team and teamwork. When you are working with a group of people, there is importance to work as a team, not as an individual. When you are working with a group, when you are working towards the same objective that you have to achieve, all of you have the same direction. So working together is really important. You can learn from each other. When you are working on the same objective, somebody else might have different opinion, somebody else might have different perspective of looking at things. You might have a different perspective, you might have a different opinion, you might have a different approach, somebody else might have a different approach. So you can learn from everybody else in the team, they can learn from you. You can work as a team to achieve that particular objective. Every employee is dependent on their fellow. When you are working as a team, you have to resolve one particular area of the product or service that you are working on. Somebody else is working on some different small module of this particular objective, but eventually all of you have to achieve the same target. So in a way, you are dependent on each other to for the completion of this particular target. Once you have completed your task, you might have to wait for the other one to complete their task to mark it as complete in all the directions. So you are dependent on each other. So it is really good to work as a team, help each other whenever required, so that you can eventually come to the end point simultaneously. So employees to work together, this is really important. You have to be dependent, as I mentioned, on each other to work together and to contribute efficiently. If somebody is failing at one particular point, and even if you are working on a different module, but you know how to get out of this issue that somebody else is facing, so you should help them so that they are not stuck and eventually you are not harmed. If they are not completing their objective in time, you might have to wait for them to complete so that the target is completed. So help each other. There might be a situation someday else that you might be needing the help. So working as a team is really good. You have somebody else to support you, you have somebody else to resolve your queries, to answer your questions, because they are working on the similar thing, so they must be having that knowledge also. Benefits of working as a team. Now, there are some really good advantages if you are working as a team instead of how you were working as an individual. Increased efficiency. Simply, when several people are working together to obtain an objective, the efficiency is increased. If you are sitting here alone and trying to do something, trying to complete a work, you might take long, you might keep on doing and doing and doing, but sometimes you get tired and then you take a break, and you might keep getting bored also doing the similar work. But when you are working in a team, efficiency is definitely increased when several people are working together. Then the idea generation. Suppose you are working on some paperwork and you have to complete transferring those that data into the system, and you are doing that in one particular way. You have a team of 5 people, somebody else might tell you a different idea. They might tell you that, okay, let's do one thing, let's take this section and write this in this manner. In the same time, somebody else is taking another paragraph and writing on a different computer. So for every work, there might be different ideas of working, and somebody else, if you are working with somebody else, they might have different idea. So idea generation is really good if there are more number of people. Share the workload. Again, if you have a lot of things to do, if you have to complete these 10 files, suppose you have a day's time only, delegating is the simple thing. You have to have a team with you. There are 2-3 more people who are working with you. You can share your tasks with them and you can mutually come together to the end really soon. Task orientation. If you are working with 5-7 people and you have a group, you can look towards and you can focus to one particular task. If you have to do everything alone, if you have to work on every part of it, every module and everything, your focus will be divided. You will be taking care of this particular thing also, that thing also, and you will not be able to focus on everything. So that's why if you have a team, so then everybody can focus on one particular thing, and then you can be oriented in one particular area and focus towards it. Work never suffers. If you are working in a team, then if for some reason, for one particular moment that you are not available, somebody else can take care of it. So work will never suffer. When you have a team, when you have people to work with you, your work will not get on hold, your work would not suffer. Healthy competition. When you have team with you, there is a slight competition also, which is healthy in manner. Healthy because you don't have to compete with each other, you don't have to lead in a way so that the other person is not performing good and you are better than them. No, competition is okay, my colleague is able to do this much in this time and we have to obtain this mutual objective, and we have to be ready after 5 days or 7 days a week, we have to complete this thing. And now I see that the other person is able to do it, I should speed up because I have this lot of thing pending in front of me, so I should speed up, I should reach at a point where we can mutually come to an end together. Building relationships. When you are working together with other people, so then your relationship with them gets stronger. If you are working in a friendly manner, if you are understanding the importance of team, if you are helping them, they are helping you in obtaining the objective, in getting the tasks completed in time, then you build beautiful relationships, and that goes with you. You would have that habit outside also, and you would be easy in building relationships with other people. Mutual gain. The next important benefit of the team building, team working as a team, is the mutual gain. All of you are working towards a same goal and you have to obtain that in the given time. So mutual gain is there. Also, when you share knowledge with each other, that is also a gain for you. You are learning something that your colleague were knowing, and they are learning something that you were knowing from prior. So there is a mutual gain. Next we have types of teams. There are different types of team, a group that can be called a team. First of them is a permanent team. When you are working as an employee in some company and you are working on this particular project, you have been trained about it already, and this project is going to be 6-7 years long. There is huge amount of work that you have to do, and they have built a team keeping in mind that this team would be serving this project for little long time. So those are the permanent teams. Temporary teams, the otherwise, when there is a small project, or sometimes you are deployed on a different project, when suppose there is a team that is working already, a team of 10 people, a group of 10 people who are working to obtain some objective, and here in your team you are free for a while, the objective is completed and you might have completed your tasks, or there is a slow pace going on. If you are not there for some time, somebody else can pace up and take care of those things. So sometimes you might be moved to this other team because they have lot of workload which is needed to be completed in time, so you might be moved there to help them. So you would be a temporary team member, that team which is created for some time being to obtain a small objective, that is called a temporary team. Then a committee. A type of team is a committee also. A committee might belong to maybe your society, in a social group where you get together to serve the people. So there are different kind of committees getting built, and then if you are working with several group of people there, that becomes a committee. Then an organization. The complete organization, the workforce is in itself a team. There might be different projects, those are there in one particular company that you might be working on, that would be your smaller team, and then there would be this larger team. within this company, as an employee, you are working towards the benefit of the company as well. So you are a part of the team of the organization as well. So organization is also a team. Cross-functional team. Now what is a cross-functional team? In a company, there are different departments. Somebody would be taking care of the finances, somebody would be taking care of the support system, somebody will be taking care of the development. So when one member of each team is brought together, they build a team to understand the operations of the other team. Suppose as an HR, they want to know how many resources are required in all these different projects. They also at the same time want to know what are the funds available by the company. So they have to have a member from the finance team, they have to have a member who is the representative of this one particular project. So this committee, this team that has been made by having one member of each team is called a cross-functional team, where different functions are there and then one representative is there. Then virtual teams. Virtual teams are what? Who are sometimes working from different locations, who are not present with each other at a given point of time, but they are working towards the same objective, same goal. Suppose you are working from home and you are working for some international client. You know, you are working, you are daily collaborating with them, you are attending the virtual meetings. So but you all are working together in a same project virtually, you are not facing each other. In that sense, that is called a virtual team. In a team, it is really important to have a leader. What is the role of a leader in the team? When we say team, there are different group members. Then why is a leader required? Leader in and as a team member is really required to guide the complete team whenever required. As a team, I am an individual also. As a team, when I am working on one particular project, I must be giving my own ideas. Somebody else might be giving their own ideas. It is always good to learn from each other's ideas, but at the end of the day, you have to obtain a particular objective. You have to reach to one particular level. And sometimes, you know, having different opinions might distract. You might be confused that shall we work on this particular idea or that. If we are a group of 3-4 people and we have different ideas and sometimes we are not coming to a solution, there the leader plays a good role. They would analyze each of the ideas, they'll find out which one is the best for this team, which one is the best to, you know, obtain this objective in time and efficiently. The leader would play his or her role and they will guide the team. Communicator. Leader would be acting as a communicator. You know, sometimes teams, as we already discussed, there might be cross-functional teams. There might be teams who are sitting at different locations. So the leader becomes the communicator there. If sometimes you don't have the right channel to get in touch with your colleague, with your team member, the leader is there to communicate. Also, even if you are sitting in one particular area altogether in one single office, then also leader would communicate different ideas, leader would communicate the objective that you have to achieve, leader would be guiding you throughout. Thinker. If all of you as a team member are busy in working, are busy in completing the tasks given to you, and then there is something else which requires the solution. You know, once you complete this task, what are we going to do next in order to keep the work going, in order to get this completed in time? We need different ideas, we need to generate some ideas. So leader is there to take care of it, to think of new ideas, to help you about it and then to guide you. Decision maker, as I said, sometimes you might not be able to make decisions when there are different opinions, when you have to take up a new task and when you have to decide among different given options. So leader plays this role there and he or she would be the decision maker, and then you can simply keep on with the work. Team builder. Now you are already 5 people working in this group. and you need to grow the team. The workload is getting really high and somebody needs to have more members while you are busy in your work. So there might be a leader who can say, okay, you go on with your work, I'll be getting few more people to join us so that we become more, and then we can obtain, we can work towards the objective really fast. Image builder. Image builder, how this leader can be the image builder? When you have to represent your team. When this is the time that your team is now built and your objective is now completed, you have accomplished, or the work is still going on, but you have to represent it to the client maybe sometimes, or to the industry, to your manager. You have to represent whatever you have done. If everybody is speaking at the same time, nobody would be able to understand what you guys are saying. So there have to be one leader who communicates everything in a given plain manner, which is understood by everybody else. So the way he or she explains it, the way he or she represents your team, that creates an image of your team. So that's why we call the leader as an image builder also. Now, SWOT analysis. What is SWOT and how is it related to the team building thing? So SWOT is simply the combination of these 4 words: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. SWOT is important for you as an individual also, in a team also, in a project also. So SWOT is really important when you are working on something. You should analyze all these things. What are your strengths? And if you are, if you relate it to the team, what are the strengths of the team? There are different members who must be having different skills. So what are the strengths of these teams? What are the weaknesses of yourself or your team? What are the opportunities within this team and the opportunities to grow this team? So even if you are working as a team, as an individual in the team, SWOT analysis is really required. You need to have an understanding about what are your strengths, what are the strengths of your team, what are your weaknesses, the weaknesses of your team. There might be different skills of different people who are working together in this team. So we have to identify the strengths, the skills of all these members, and those collectively could be called the strengths of the team. Then the opportunities, of growing within the team, of working within the team, and the growth opportunities of all of us as a team and as an individual. Then the threats. There might be some threats. Threats are like what is going to harm this team, or working in this team there might be something that could harm an individual. So how can somebody harm the team? Suppose in a group there are some people who are working in a really good manner, and then there is somebody who is not being able to cope up with all of these members. Now he or she becomes the threat to this particular team, because the reputation of team is at stake. They might have a different opinion about this team if some member of this team is not working good and you are not able to obtain the objective. So strengths, what are the different kinds of strengths that you can have? And first of all, what do you mean by strength? What are the different strengths that you can have? For the strengths, we have all these things. First of all, you need to understand what benefits do you have which others do not have. Suppose you know 10 different languages. This is your strength. Somebody else might not be knowing these much languages. You know different programming languages, you know computers, you have these several skills that somebody else might not have. So this is your strength. You are better at something than someone else. What do you know better than anyone else? This is again a kind of strength. You know something about something, maybe what is going on in your country, especially in politics. Suppose you have to work on a project which is related to politics. You have to update daily news thing on that. So you really have interest in that particular area, and there is somebody else who is not even at all interested in politics. They don't know what is going on, what should be happening, how many things are there. So they don't know all these things, and then you have to update the news every day. If you are interested, you will be able to do it in a better way. So that is your strength. What personal resources do you have access to? If we talk about the same thing, that you have to update the news, you must have the access to the internet. If you are gathering the news from the internet and then updating in a database, putting it in your notice board of the college every day, so you must have access to the internet. Now there are 10 team members, out of which only 2 have the access to the internet and others do not. So this is a resource. Or another way of having resource is a pen. If you have to write something, you are at one particular location now and 3 of you are there and you have to write something, you have been given a paper but you don't have a pen, so you don't have the available resource that is required to work. So somebody who is having a pen would be having that resource, and that is his or her strength, that at particular moment he is having the access to this resource which is required. What do other people see as your strength? Some strengths are those that you have on your own. You know that I know this. Sometimes you don't realize what strengths do you have. You are good at explaining something, but you don't know you are good at it. Somebody else is trying to explain a topic, sitting in a group of 5-10 members, and then you start explaining it, and somebody says, oh yeah, now I got the point really well. You have explained it in really good manner. So that is your strength that you were not aware of, but somebody else has identified. So what are those strengths that other people are able to see? Which achievements are you most proud of? Now this would be an important strength. Whatever you have achieved in past, gives you confidence and keeps you motivated to work towards more and more things. So what is one particular achievement that you are proud of? You might have heard in some interviews that you might have faced by now, that the interviewer is asking you about your strengths and your weaknesses. So these are the ways that will help you to identify your own strengths. You can think about an achievement that you have achieved in past. You have gained something, you can think about it, and then the one which you are most proud of can be counted as your strength. What values do you believe in that others fail to show? There are some values that you keep believing in and somebody else might not have those values. For example, you speak truth every time. That is your value that you seriously believe in, and somebody else doesn't do that. So that is again one of your strength. Then we have weaknesses. How to identify your weaknesses? You just have to simply identify that is there any work that I am kind of avoiding every time because I am not confident in it. So what is that work? You can identify that I am not doing this because I am not confident, so let's avoid. That is your weakness. Then again, what do you think that, what other people think, what are your weaknesses? Sometimes other people might analyze what is your weakness. You are not confident when you are speaking in public. You feel nervous. Inside you might think that okay, I am trying to do well, but somebody else might tell you that this is the way, this is that one particular situation that you feel nervous in. So they can identify your weakness. Then are you happy with your education and skills training? Do you have the enormous amount of skills that are required for one particular job or one particular work that you are going to do? So that might be a weakness of yours. Do you have any negative work habits? Is there anything that is stopping you to do something negative? For example, if you are working with one particular module, if you are working on, for example, we talked about gathering the news from the internet. You have this habit that whenever you go to the internet, you try and start Facebook. So this is a negative work habit that will divert you from what you were supposed to do. So you have to take care and you have to overcome that negative habit, that when you are going to internet for this one particular reason, you should focus on that. You should not switch to other things. You should not get diverted there. Which of the personality traits hold you back? Is there something in your personality that is holding you back? Is there something that, suppose some people are not able to speak properly. There are some words that they are not fluent in, and every time they speak this word, either they fumble or just they lose their confidence or something like that. That might be one personality trait which is your weakness. There might be something, you are nervous of public. When you are in front of group of people, when you are in front of public, you get nervous and you are not able to convey your message. That might be a negative personality trait. So that is your weaknesses. All you have to do is you have to identify your weakness weakness and you have to work towards them. As soon as you identify your weakness, you should take care of it. You should not keep it for long within you. Now, opportunities. There are different opportunities when there are new nowadays. Every now and then there are new technologies in market. Every day some other discovery has been made, and then this new technology opens a lot of doors. So again, when a new technology is introduced, how can this assist you in getting one good opportunity, one good job? Now then, can you take this advantage of the market in its present state, the way it is as of now, the way it is running, the way it is going on in the market? How can you get benefited from them? You have to identify the ideas, you have to identify the key areas from which you can get advantage of this one particular industry which is going on at that particular moment. Do you have a network of strategic contacts to offer good advice or help you whenever you need some advice? Do you have a group of people in your circle who can help you whenever required, who can advise you what to do in this particular situation if you are stuck somewhere? Is there somebody who can strategically take you out of it, who can tell you that this is why you are stuck and this is how you can get out of this particular situation? So you should have that particular network. Then could you create an opportunity by offering solutions to problems? Similarly, previously the way we have looked for somebody to help resolve our queries, are you able to offer solution when somebody else is stuck in a problem? So you have to be somebody who is able to solve the queries, so that becomes a great opportunity for you. That makes you problem solver, and whenever you are required in a group, whenever a group needs help to resolve one particular problem, you will be required. So that creates an opportunity for you. Threats. What could be the threats of your position, of your job, of your employment, working as a team? What could be the different threats? So first of all, the threat is, what hindrances do you currently face at work or in personal life? What is something that is stopping you? In my work, suppose I have a colleague who is continuously threatening me for something. They are telling me that if you don't do it this way, I'll be complaining about you, there is a problem to your job. So that might be a hindrance to you. They are creating a problem for you so that you are not able to work properly. So that is a hindrance, and that you have to identify so that it can get resolved. Is any of your co-worker, friends and siblings competing with you for your project or roles? If somebody is after your job, if somebody thinks that you are not doing this job properly, or maybe even if you are doing this job properly, I want your job. Somebody at your office, somebody as your friend, they might either keep you threatening about it, or without even you getting to know about it, they can try their efforts in getting your own job or getting that project, your role, so that becomes a threat for you. If somebody is after your position, you have to identify that and you have to retrain them from doing it, so that your job and your employment is secure. Is your job changing? You are working on this one particular task and you have to achieve this thing every day. Now your role is getting changed. Suddenly your objectives are getting changed. Somebody else want you to do something else. So is this changing? So you might have to take some time, and you have to identify that well in time, prevent that, or if that is happening, you have to keep yourself updated. So that is a threat. Technological changes threaten your position. Sometimes a new technology is introduced and that is implemented within your project and you are not aware of that. So identify that, either get trained on that or switch to something else that you know better. Could any of your weakness leads to threats? You have already identified your weaknesses. I am bad at this, I am bad at this. That becomes a threat for you. That becomes a threat for your employment, for your job. So identify that. Against, if that is weakness, simply overcome it, work on it and resolve that so that your job is secure. Now, advantages of conducting a personal SWOT. If you have done all those things, it will help you in developing the strategies to attain your goals. You can reach your goals faster. You can be better than your colleagues. If you have already identified your weakness and you are working on them, you are improving, you get better, among all your friends. show where you currently stand. Identifying myself would show me that this is I am where I am at this particular moment, and this is the way of that I have to take towards the success. Now I have already identified, if I work on these weaknesses, I will be moving towards the success. This realization also measures your scope of reaching desired goals, because if you have to reach somewhere and this is the skill that is required to reach there, you have already analyzed that, it will help you in going there. It enhances your career, life and personality. If you are already working on something which is becoming a threat to you, you are not able to speak publicly, if you are working on that, it would enhance your career and it would enhance your personality as well. Also, analyzing yourself would help you to better understand who you are really as a person, so that you can work on your personality and get better day by day. So, working as a team and analyzing yourself helps you becoming a better person day by day, and it will help you in becoming, gaining a good personality, having a pleasant personality. Working as a team helps you in different ideas also, and self analysis would help you overcome your weaknesses and everything. So this is all about working as a team and enhancing your personality as an individual and as a team member. Thank you so much.